Take a look at that. Nice sear marks on them. We opened that broiler plate on the Pit Boss 456D. Gave them a nice char on the outside to finish them off. All right, the first step is to cut this meat into 1-inch cubes. So we're gonna look down here, and I've got my meat here. This is top round, otherwise known as London broil. And we're just gonna look for some pieces that look like we can cut them into about 1-inch cubes. All right, so now we've got our 1-inch cubes all cut up. So we're gonna put them in some marinade now. And for marinade, I'm just gonna whip something up here. It's nothing special. 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, and finally 2 tablespoons of some teriyaki sauce. And I'm also going to add some Kosmo's Q Honey Chipotle Killer Bee Rub. Okay, so that looks pretty good. So now we're gonna put our cubes into this marinade. Put a glove back on here. Scrub up, put those into the marinade. And now we're going to put the lid back on this container and we're gonna put it in the fridge overnight. All right guys, this beef is done marinating. So what we're gonna do is lay down some paper towel and we're gonna pat down some of that excess moisture that's on the cubes right now from the marinade. Just wanna dry this out because this is gonna be a pretty fast cook. So I want a little bit of bark formation to form on the Pit Boss. And I also want those sear marks to be really prominent. And if you have a lot of moisture on your meat, then it just takes longer and the sear marks don't form as well. So put that down, wrap that around onto there and you just press it down. Make sure you have some heavy duty paper towel, that helps, or just double up on it and just pat it down. Try to get as much as you can off of it. And that should be good just to get the surface moisture off. I'm gonna take this glove off now and I'm gonna take my rub. I've got this Honey Chipotle Killer Bee Rub from Kosmo Q. It's almost gone and I've been using it for like the last 6 or 7 videos. So I think it's time to use it all up and start using something else. So happy to use it on this recipe. So I'm gonna start applying it to the cubes very sparingly. We'll just sort of shake that on a little bit, flip them over, and then we'll get the other side. And the reason I'm doing this is just to add a little bit more flavor to the outside of the cubes, a little bit of color. And sometimes if you have a bunch of spices on the outside of whatever meat you're smoking, it just helps with that bark formation, helps it form like a nice crispy surface area. So I'll just mix that all in. And I want to use the rest of this, so I'll just dump that all on there and we're done with this. So we'll mix this on. And now we're going to take our skewers. So I've had these bamboo skewers soaking for about 2 hours, just so they don't get burnt on the grill. And we're going to start just poking them through like this. Leave yourself about 2 inches, 2 or 3 inches, so you can grab onto the skewer as you're cooking. And just keep threading it on like this. All right, so that's the first one done. Put that to the side. And I'll take another skewer, start skewering this on, and we're good to go. So we've got 2 relatively equal sized skewers. Woo! And we're gonna put these on the Pit Boss 456D. We'll preheat the Pit Boss at 250 degrees, and we're gonna monitor the temperature with a leave-in thermometer in these guys until the temperature gets to about 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Once the temperature reaches 110 degrees internal in these meat skewers, we're going to put them on the upper rack and we're going to crank up the temperature of the Pit Boss to 375 and get it ready for a sear. And we'll cook it for another probably about 10 to 20 minutes to get that sear temperature up. Then we're gonna do a quick sear on either side of these skewers, check the internal temperature to ensure that we're getting to around 130, which is medium rare. And then we can take them off the grill and we can cut into them. All right guys, these skewers just came off the Pit Boss 456D and they're looking good. So I'm gonna move the camera down just so you can look at them here. And we're going to cut into them because they look awesome. Take a look at that. Nice sear marks on them. We opened that broiler plate on the Pit Boss 456D. Gave them a nice char on the outside to finish them off. Then we just let them rest for about 10 to 15 minutes on the cutting board. So we're gonna cut into them now, see what we got. All right, let's use this long knife here. And I'm just gonna cut all along one side. Nice. All right, look at that. Wow. That's looking good. Yum. So we got medium rare in the middle, got some brown and char on the outside. So lots of different flavor profiles in there. We got some nice char. That looks good. Wow. Give you another shot here. Guys, if you're looking for some other stuff to cook on the Pit Boss 456D, then check this video out. This video is going to tell you how to make baby back ribs on the Pit Boss 456D. Super juicy, super smoky, super delicious. So be sure to check that one out. I'm going to take a taste of this now. Let's see. Oh. Oh man. That's so good.